Hey y'all, Justin Graney here with North Carolina Emergency Management here at your State Emergency Operations Center. Emergency managers, like myself, are helpers, just like firefighters, police officers, and paramedics. What emergency managers do is coordinate responses so that we can take care of people during times of disasters, that everybody in the community is working together. So today, I want to read a book because disasters can be a little bit scary, right? But if we read about it, we prepare for it, and we make sure we understand what's going on, we can make it a little less scary. There's many disasters that can affect North Carolina, like tornadoes and hurricanes and winds and floods, and all those things are pretty scary. But if we take the time to read books like today's book, we can learn about them, and we can figure out ways that we can be prepared, and it's a lot less scary. Today we're going to read I Am the Storm by Jane Yolen and Heidi E.Y. Stemple. And it says right inside the front cover here, and I think it's a great quote. It says, "Nature is strong and powerful, but you are strong and powerful too." When the wind howled and blew loud as a train. We had a party in the basement with Grandma, reading books and playing games with the flashlight. When the wind stopped whirling, as tornadoes always do, we picked up branches and fixed the fence. I danced round and round our front yard, howling and blowing like the wind. When the ice and snow fell, sparkling like fairy dust on the windows, and all the lights went out, we made a fire and cooked hot dogs and marshmallows. When the ice and snow stopped falling, as blizzards always do, we shoveled our walk, and Miss Garcia's too. We built a snowman, and I tossed up big handfuls of snow that fell down on my head. See, that's great. They're helping their neighbors. When the fires burned in a forest nearby, Papa drove us to the lake. We camped out and made new friends. I picked up wildflowers and tied them into bouquets. When the forest cooled, as wildfires always do, I brought flowers to all the neighbors while the grown-ups swept the ashes and washed windows. The air still felt hot as I swayed with my arms up like a slow, beautiful flame. We had big bowls of ice cream to cool down. That sounds good. When the sea swirled, it roiled and rose almost into the sky. We drove away from the ocean to my cousin's house. We pretended the bunk beds were boats high above the waves. The storm was strong, and I was scared. But when the wind and sea calmed, as hurricanes always do, we went back home. It's okay to be scared. Even grown-ups like me get scared sometimes. Nature is strong and powerful, but I am strong and powerful too, and so are you. I am wild like the blizzard. I am loud like the tornado. I am hot like the fire. I am fierce like the hurricane. I am the storm. And when the storm passes, as it always does, I am the calm too. So there's a lot of different disasters and storms and natural hazards and all kinds of things that can impact North Carolina. A couple of them that we talked about in this book, like tornadoes. Tornado is a fast, twisting wind that can form in a thunderstorm, but not all thunderstorms make tornadoes. Tornadoes only happen when warm, wet air and dry, cold air crash into each other and begin spinning. A tornado sounds like a train rushing down the tracks, and it looks like a column or a cone of spinning clouds which can whirl up to 300 miles an hour, as fast as the fastest trains in the world. As it moves across land, it can pick up heavy things like cars and cows, whisking them around and then dropping them miles away. That's why in the book they went to their safe place and took shelter so that they were safe during this. Blizzards We don't see much of those in North Carolina, but I know my little girl Ella is dying to see snow every year, and hopefully maybe this winter we'll see some. But blizzards happen when a huge snow and ice storm also has strong winds like a blizzard. Blizzards form when the warm air and very cold air mix way up in the sky, and people need to stay inside their houses. The snow, ice, and winds can also break tree branches, and they fall on power lines. Since power lines bring electricity to houses, if they're broken, all the things powered by electricity, like your lights, your heat, your television, or your computer, may not work until they're fixed safely by experienced workers. And here at the Emergency Operations Center, we work with a lot of those workers to make sure that they can safely get out there and quickly get the electric turned back on. Wildfires. Wildfires are uncontrolled fires that burn in nature. These fires are either started naturally, when lightning strikes dry trees, leaves, or grasses, or by people when someone carelessly leaves a campfire before it's completely out or throws something lit to the ground. Not all wildfires are destructive. Some go out by themselves, but others can grow and spread rapidly, especially if there's windy, large areas of drier land. There's specifically trained firefighters with airplanes and helicopters that dump water and chemicals to help extinguish the wildfires. We have a lot of those specially trained firefighters here in North Carolina at the North Carolina Forest Service, who we work with to make sure that we get the right folks to take care of it in a quick manner to make sure we protect your house and your family. Hurricanes. You've probably heard a lot of talk about this lately, but a hurricane is a storm that begins over the ocean and gets its energy from warm ocean waters. When a hurricane moves over land, its wind and rain can cause a lot of damage. Hurricanes are measured in categories. A Category 1 hurricane has winds that start at 74 miles per hour, which is as fast as a cheetah. Category 2, 3, and 4 storms are even stronger. The strongest hurricane is a Category 5, which has winds as fast as 157 miles per hour or more, which can be as fast as an airplane or a race car. These powerful whirling winds can last a long time, but in the middle of the storm, just for a short time, there's an eye where the hurricane is churning around and around, and you can see the blue sky. It's clear and blue, but after that, the storm passes through the area. And while that can be scary, there's a lot of ways that we can prepare for that. So you need to tell your parents that they need to go to Ready NC and make sure that you guys have a disaster kit in your house, that you're ready to go, that has water and food and batteries and a flashlight. And you also want to make sure if you live in eastern North Carolina near the beach, that you know what zone that your house is in. So tell your parents that you need to make sure you know your zone. That way you know when it's time to go and go to a family member's house or go to a friend's house somewhere else that you guys are safe, right? The more you know about and prepare for a disaster, the better off you're going to be and the less scary it is. You can also find books like this one about all kinds of disasters or emergencies that you have questions about by going to your local library and asking the friendly staff there that you want to check out a book for a certain emergency or disaster, and then you can learn about it with your family and read the book. I appreciate you guys joining us today here at North Carolina Emergency Management, and I hope you have a safe rest of your day.